Hey there, Chase Cooper here, Director of Instruction at the House Hunt Golf Academy down here in Houston, Texas. Here we have a really good mini tour player, young professional golfer, has some Latin American tour status. He came in struggling with some low point issues. He was having a hard time getting his low point in front of the golf ball enough. You know, average low point for a 7-iron needs to be 3 or 4 inches in front of the golf ball, and he was closer to 0. Angle of attack was in the -1 to 0 range, fighting some thin shots, fighting some quick little pulls. So yeah, let's take a look and see what we did. So as you can see, overall motion is really good. One of the first things that we looked for, and we did it here in the awesome Swing Catalyst software, is we looked at the pressure traces. So top of backswing, he's about 70-30 back foot. And then as we transition to around P5 to left arm parallel, you can see he's about 50-50. Now, generally, we want to see, with irons especially, we want to see a pressure shift earlier than that and more than that. So, you know, general rule is 75 to 80% of the pressure on the lead foot by around this left arm parallel by around P5. And you can see with this young player here that we were closer to 50, okay? So one of the things we talked about was draw a line off of his left ear. You can see moves off the ball a little bit, and now from here, if we're going to move off of it with an iron, we've got to kind of recenter. We've got to get our head to get back to that line, and if we don't, what happens is our platform, our mass ends up being kind of too far back behind the ball, kind of back in our trail foot a little bit. So as the lower body starts to kind of push up off the ground, our upper body's too far back, and so it's going to cause us to kind of be pushed back this way. And so you'll see a little bit late back up, and everything's just a little bit too far back. So again, angle of attack here is closer to 0, and so he's just not covering it enough. He doesn't have enough of his mass, enough of his pressure, enough of his weight forward. Okay, so if we pull up a comparison, and I'll pull up one of the swings from more recent after we've worked on this a little bit. So let me get them synced up to the top, okay, and then I'm going to draw a line on the left ear on both sides. Okay, and so as you'll notice, staying a little bit more centered, and now as we transition, lower body gets a little bit more, or upper body gets a little bit more forward here. So now we've got somewhere to go. If he pushes up from here, he's not just going to be pushed straight backwards. He's going to still be able to rotate. He's going to have some secondary tilt, some side tilt, but it's not going to be so far back. So if we keep going down, you see the back up, okay? But with the new one, you see he's loaded. He's very centered over, his upper body's very centered over his lower body. And from here, he just pushes and gets right down to impact. Good position versus the one on the left. You'll see he's so far back behind it, okay? If we pull up the pressure traces, you'll see by around P5, he's at 64% of his pressure on his lead foot versus 53. So we gained about 10 percentage points. And then you'll see at impact, he's at 75 versus 50-50. Okay, low point here was about 3.5 inches past the ball. Angle of attack was somewhere around 4. So we accomplished that goal. We got low point far enough forward, and we did it with some awareness through the Swing Catalyst software, some awareness of a pressure shift where it felt like his lead side went down and forward a little bit more so he could load into that left side and have a platform to push from versus this platform that's going to cause everything to be pushed back. That's fine with the driver, but not so great with the irons. Again, we did it all through the awesome Swing Catalyst software. We've used it here at the Academy for the last 4 or 5 years, and honestly wouldn't teach without it. Hope this helps, guys, and good luck in your golfing journeys.